I'm on the Forest Research stand at APF 2022 and I'm joined by Caroline in the mobile laboratory. Caroline, what can you tell me about how Forest Research utilises your mobile laboratory here?
Well, this is a relatively recent acquisition. We've had it for about a year and a half, and we bought the Sprinter van and converted it so that it would provide us with exactly the equipment we need in the field when we're dealing with outbreaks. So if there's an outbreak of a pest or a disease, we can take this van and we can drive it to where the problem is, and we can then process material here. So it gives us the opportunity to get ahead of the game if there's a problem, and it buys us days, which is very important in response time. There are also welfare facilities so that staff can eat their lunch in comfort. If it's pouring with rain, they can wash their hands. And it's quite a game changer for us to have this kind of facility, because we're lucky. We've had an investment in our labs back at Alice Holt and at NRS, but actually this is getting us out into the field.
And in the lab area itself, what do you have here?
So it's actually quite a simple setup. Basically we have power, we have benching, we have an incubator and a fridge, but we can bring any equipment that we need that runs off power and set it up in here. So today we've got a microscope so that you can have a look at some of the bark beetles that we're dealing with in the UK at the moment. But in theory we could be bringing other much more sophisticated equipment such as real-time PCR machines for use in the field. We could do DNA extractions if we had the right equipment. But in many cases we're just using it to actually do the earlier stages in sample processing and then take that material back to the lab. And it means that we don't have to transport so much infested material around the countryside and then deal with disposing it at the other end. We just take what we need, basically.
So what kind of difference does this mean time-wise to someone discovering that they might have a problem versus finding out what it is?
The time frame is not enormous. We're talking about days rather than, but actually when you're dealing with an initial response, that can be actually very important, catching it as early as possible and also processing that material and getting confirmation or denial about the presence of a pest or disease so that you can then inform your management response. So it's a question of days, as I said, but actually for us that's quite valuable.